Good morning. It's Monday, January 25th, and this is the Herald Review's Daily Chirp podcast. We're bringing you a closer look at one of our top stories, along with other important things going on in our community. Today, the life of Bill Ivory, former CID agent who chronicled a Hall of Fame career. But first, a quick message from our sponsor.
Hi everyone, I'm Sean Lawley from the Lawley Automotive Group, and we've stocked up on inventory at all of our dealerships. If you've been thinking about a new car, we've got the deal for you on a new Buick, GMC, Chevrolet, Ford, Kia, Hyundai, Honda, Nissan, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. You don't have to go to Tucson or Phoenix to buy a new vehicle. We're your hometown dealer since 1995. We'll beat the big city dealers in price, and our customer service is small town dealer friendly. Come into any one of the Lawley dealerships today or shop lawleycars.com and see why nobody beats a Lawley deal. Nobody.
Before we begin, some local history. In 1967, Fort Huachuca became the headquarters of the U.S. Army Strategic Communications Command. Soon after, in 1971, the post became the home of the U.S. Army Intelligence Center and School. Today's history is brought to you by Benson Hospital. They're doing more than treating illnesses in Benson, they're building a healthier community. Benson Hospital is now collaborating with the Diaper Bank of Southern Arizona to provide diaper assistance to families in need. For more information, visit their website at bensonhospital.org. Now our feature story. In the world of military investigations, Bill Ivory saw it all, and you can read it all. Longtime Sierra Vista resident and former U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Division sleuth wrote a book that spans his entire career. It's called Covert Ops. Those were the days, my friends, the lives and times of covert U.S. Army CID agents. The 173-page book retraces Bill's most memorable cases during a career that began when he was stationed in France in 1964. Ivory was later inducted into the CID Hall of Fame. For years, he thought about chronicling his adventures in the CID, which took him from France to Vietnam to Germany to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. But it wasn't until a bunch of former CID agents reunited in Aruba and started swapping old stories that it piqued Ivory's motivation to finally get these stories down on paper after resisting for years. So Ivory started writing about his past cases one story at a time. The process took a year to write. Covert Ops goes into 11 of Ivory's most memorable cases and along the way includes getaway cars, drug deals, robberies, chases, and even a shootout where he and his partner were against a berm armed only with .38 caliber handguns against automatic weapons. In another, which he calls a career case, he investigated a brutal homicide on Fort Bragg.
At 544 Castle Drive on that February morning in 1970, all the Valentine's cards were still standing in the small living room. Bill Ivory, then an Army investigator, thought that strange. Testifying all these years later, he said, given Jeffrey McDonald's account of what happened, that intruders attacked him in the living room, he could find no debris to support that story. Ivory acknowledged that there were 17 fingerprints in the apartment that could not be traced to anybody. McDonald's attorney, Gordon Whitenhouse, said they could have come from intruders in the home on the night of the murders. Ivory called that a stretch, noting that they could have been left by neighbors or any other visitors to the apartment at any time.
Ivory eventually made his way to Tucson and to Fort Huachuca, where he started with the security division at the Army Installations Intelligence School. In his career, he has also been featured on TV shows like 48 Hours, Unsolved Mysteries, and Court TV. Ivory passed away last week, a huge loss to our community. Please join us in taking a moment to remember his incredible life at the end of today's episode. Want to stay up to date on what's going on? Join Neighbor, your trusted neighborhood community. Neighbor is a free online forum you can trust to connect with your community, focus on facts, and make a difference. Join the conversation. Visit nabur.myheraldreview.com. Now, a quick update on our local sports, brought to you by Apex Network Physical Therapy in Benson and Sierra Vista. They're doing more than just treating patients, they're helping patients get back to living their daily lives. Using extensive knowledge, their therapists treat each patient one-on-one, focusing on individual care. To learn more, go to apexnetworkpt.com. On Friday, the Benson Bobcats basketball teams competed in their first games of the season against the Pima Rough Riders. The Rough Riders came away with 2 victories, winning the girls' game 62-42 and beating the boys 80-47. The Bobcats will be at home against the Desert Christian Eagles on Tuesday. Then they'll travel to Tucson Wednesday to take on Santa Rita and will finally be at Wilcox on Friday. Next, an announcement brought to you by our sponsors, Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You are probably spending a lot more quality time at home these days, keeping you and your family safe. And that can present some opportunities that you usually don't experience, like maybe laughing together at a funny movie, or screaming together at a scary movie, pitching in to make a special dinner, or maybe you're keeping in touch with friends and relatives in other places on your devices. And it just so happens that many of the activities we're sharing with each other are made possible by electricity. At Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, we know that you are depending on us both for fun and serious needs. And we want you to know that we're here for you day and night, sunshine or storm, easygoing times or trying times like now, making sure you're getting the power that you need every day to meet your needs. For over 85 years, through all kinds of tough times, we've been there for our members. And even though you may not see us, we're here for you now. Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, owned by those we serve.
City officials want the public to weigh in on a master plan for Veterans Memorial Park that will incorporate an additional 20-acre area that Sierra Vista recently purchased from the school district. On Thursday, city officials released 3 design ideas for the park and the adjacent 20-acre area they want the public's input on. The public has until February 12th to pick the design proposal of their choice. To pick your favorite, visit engage.sierravistaaz.gov. Finally, today we'd like to remember the life of the one and only William Francis Ivory. He was born in Boston, Maine. His military service started in USMC, where he was a grunt. Bill then switched services and became a military police soldier, serving as an MP at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and also in Germany and Korea. He was accepted by the Provost Marshal General as a criminal investigator while he was stationed in France in 1964. From 1973 to 1975, Bill served in Vietnam, closing out the war efforts in the CID office. He then departed for Fort Hood, Texas, where he retired. Bill worked as a civilian for the U.S. Army in Europe USAREUR Provost Marshal, conducting physical security inspections and investigations for all of the NATO nuke sites in Europe. He inspected sites in Germany, Italy, Greece, and Holland. He worked in California for the Defense Investigative Service for a short time until he was recruited by a state law enforcement agency in Arizona. In Tucson, Bill became the chief of organized crime and terrorism for the state. And after several years, he received an offer he couldn't refuse and returned to government service at Fort Huachuca. Bill retired from civil service in 2007. Also in 2007, he received a great honor and was inducted into the CID Hall of Fame in Washington, D.C. Bill became an author in 2015 when he published his book, Covert Ops, Those Were the Days, My Friends, which we spoke about earlier in the podcast. He was preceded in death by his parents, his sister, and a grandson. Bill leaves behind the love of his life, Eliza, his sister Mary, his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, along with many friends and colleagues. Bill was a legend in his life who lived to serve and was loved by many. Thanks for taking a moment today to remember and celebrate his life. Thanks for tuning in to the Herald Review podcast today. Join us again on Tuesday. And remember, the Herald Review is here for you with local news you can trust. For more information on any of the stories you heard about today, visit us at myheraldreview.com. Right now, you can become a member starting at just $1.99 per week.